Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Join Us today. We're coming to you live from our studios in Kokomlemle. We are on DTT because we're free to on DSTV channel 421 and Go TV channel 125. We are your home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. Coming up this afternoon, Guta and 5 other business associations petition Parliament against the passage of the import restriction bill. What's the reason? We'll hear from President of Guta on their resistance. Also, this afternoon, a 2-horse race in the Asotwe NPP parliamentary primaries as Energy Ministry PRO Joseph Obeng battles with NYA Deputy CEO Asotwe M and another. In our build-up to the NPP's parliamentary primaries on your election headquarters, we shine the light on constituencies where no MP has been re-elected, boosting the NPP's confidence of snatching that swing seat. And also, 2022 Kumasi Road Safety Reports identifies tricycle and motorcycle activities as major contributors to road traffic crashes in the metropolis. And here in Accra, we'll take you to Parliament, where the minority is accusing Akufo-Addo, the president, of not signing the bill that criminalizes witchcraft accusations in Ghana. There is more. We'll bring you. Also, we'll have business, sports, world news, and showbiz all coming up this afternoon. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Do stay for details. Remember, we're also live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and X Spaces via Joy News on TV. My personal handle is @Nana Aisha. Let's settle now for the details. 6 business associations, including the Ghana Union of Traders Association, the Ghana Importers and Exporters Association, the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce, and the Ghana Freight Forwarders Association, have petitioned Parliament over the LI to restrict the import of strategic products. Government has come under intense pressure not to pass the LI, which the minority in Parliament says will breed corruption. The business associations say the restrictions will cripple businesses. President of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, Guta, Dr. Obeng, has been speaking on this, and the group has since petitioned Parliament what it thinks must be the ideal situation. We'll be hearing from Dr. Obeng very soon, who says they will push hard for the right thing to be done. But first, let's share excerpts of the petition with you, coming right there on your screens. And this is, we'll be sharing the list of the affected products. It starts with mineral water, cement, and then poultry, corrugated paper and paperboard, plastics and plastic products, animal and vegetable oil, mosquito coil and insecticide, fish, margarine, soaps and detergent, biscuits, fruit juices, motor cars, canned tomatoes, ceramic tiles, clothing and apparel, noodles, and pasta, sugar. All are part of the strategic products that the LI seeks to restrict its importation into the country. We can now hear from Guta President Dr. Joseph Obeng, who's been speaking on the matter.
We actually cooperate with government, and we understand that we need to industrialize, and that we will be the first people to know the importance of this exercise, because we travel to other destinations where they have made conscious efforts to add values to their raw materials, to enhance on their production, where through their self-sufficiency and even surplus, we go to those corridors to buy the goods. But here, how we have structured the LI and how we are going about it is not going to help us achieve our aims. We've put the aim behind and then just putting the restriction ahead. And that's why we are calling that we are the people who consume all the goods that are manufactured in the country. And then the shortfall is what we bring from outside. So it's very important that our views are also taken in situations like this. We are saying that we have to hold on, and then we engage. And then even the list that have been given to us need to be brought down. Because the list, if you look at sugar, do we have production of sugar yet? We know that there's a factory that is working on it. Have it even started in earnest that we can say that, okay, let's start this on sugar? If you talk about certain other items like cars, do we have to, do we need import license or permit to import a car at this time? In terms of competitiveness.
So your petition, so you submitted your petition to Parliament?
Yeah, we've sent it to Parliament. We know by now they should have it. We prepared it yesterday night, and then we delivered it. Yeah.
What has been the response from Parliament?
Yeah, our secretary, Mr. Awuni, have called on the Select Committee on Trade Chairman, and then he has told us a couple of things to do, so we are doing it and then resend our petition again.
GOTA President Joseph Obeng spoke with me earlier on News Desk. Let's get on to other stories. I disagree with U.S. travel advisory alert to LGBTQI travelers. That's according to Information Minister Kojo Oppong, rejecting claims there are emerging threats against the community if the anti-LGBTQI bill is passed in its present form. The United States government last week updated its travel advisory alert to LGBTQI plus travelers coming to Ghana after its ambassador Virginia Palmer warned of a possible blacklisting and ban on the Ghanaian business dealings if the bill is passed in its present form. Speaking to the media in Accra, Information Minister Kojo Oppong insisted Ghana is a sovereign nation and it will stick to its position on such matters.
Honorable, the U.S. Embassy really can. We have laws that puts a threat to the person living LGBT. Are you worried about that?
We disagree with them on that. Is there any other question?
We are a sovereign nation. What are we doing to that?
We disagree with them on that. We'll continue with what we believe is our governance principles.
Let's head to Parliament, where the minority says Parliament must look into claims of senior high school students who are being fed with maggot-infested rice. According to the minority spokesperson on education, Peter Nochukotoi, this rice imported from India is nearing its expiry, but still has been distributed to SHS across the country.
Mr. Speaker, if you also look at it carefully, you will realize that even the type of food they are fed with in the school is questionable. Very, very terrible, Mr. Speaker. 2 years ago, I raised an issue of a canned fish that was provided in the senior high schools. When it was about to expire, they branded the container and made it look as if it was newly imported. Mr. Speaker, as we speak now, there is some rice in the system which has been supplied to senior high schools. They call it laments from India. This rice, Mr. Speaker, is maggot infested. Yes. When it was imported in 2021, the suppliers or the importers did not pay for bringing the duty on the rice. So they had to be stored in a warehouse. Now they have nicodemously gone to remove this rice and distribute it to the senior high schools. About 5,000 metric tons, which is over 300,000 bags of rice. The rice is about to expire, a few weeks to expire. They have not distributed them to the senior high schools in the country. And that is what they are feeding our children with. Mr. Speaker, this is so serious that we must look at it carefully.
Let's stick with Parliament because minority again is accusing President Akufo-Addo for failing to sign the law, an amendment to the Criminal Offence Act which criminalizes accusation of witchcraft and the practices of witch finders. We'll be getting our correspondent Kojo Ashanti on the line to tell us more about this attempt by the minority to accuse the president for not signing that bill into law. Let's get on to other stories. It is a two-horse race between PRO of the Energy Ministry, Joseph Obeng, and Deputy CEO of the National Youth Authority, Asotwe MA School, as the two battles to lead the NPP in their Adentan constituency. These two have stolen the spotlight as a third candidate, Winfred Nate, a polling station chairman, struggles to catch up. As we begin our build-up to the NPP's parliamentary primaries on your election headquarters in the Oppong constituency, we shine the light on the Adentan constituency where the race is heated. Kojo Ashanti has more.
The Adentan constituency remains one of the key battlegrounds in Ghana's political landscape. No member of parliament for Adentan has been re-elected since 2004 when the constituency was created. The NDC has won the constituency 3 times, while the NPP has won it twice. And as the NPP prepares to elect a candidate to represent it ahead of the crucial 2024 election, the race has become heated as 3 persons lock horns vying to lead their party to unseat the incumbent NDC MP, Ademu Ramadan. PRO of the Energy Ministry, Joseph Obeng, believes he is the party's best bet towards attaining this goal.
As number 1 indicates a leader. If you have chosen one, you're already in the lead. It means you are one and all the others are behind you. You understand? And oneness in its form means unity. So it means I'm a symbol of unity. I'm the one that can bring everybody together. In the issue of Adentan, anytime we are united, anytime we come together, we win. So we are far ahead. Because as I said, we are winning this contest. And because of that, our focus now is the NDC. So we have advised ourselves that we are not going to antagonize anybody. We're going to speak the language of unity, love, and then ensure that we have peace so that we can win these primaries successfully and then go ahead to win the general elections, both for the presidential and then the parliamentary for the MP.
Joseph Obeng says he speaks and understands the language of delegates more than any of his contenders. He is facing an uphill task as he goes against Deputy CEO of the National Youth Authority, Asotwe MA School. She wants to be the first female MP for Adentan, but not only that, she believes she is the best person to lead the party to unseat Ademu Ramadan.
My campaign, one of the themes is the big tent. Why? Because the big tent is, as the delegates have said, a patakesia. Everybody can come into the safety net of Kozi because she is welcoming, she's open, and she didn't take part in any of the divisive games that existed in 2020. And I believe that's the strongest selling point for me when it comes to that. And it also goes to what I believe is the dynamics. Again, it goes back to what they are crying out for, that let's give it to a female. Yes, there's been a parliamentary candidate who was female, but she didn't get the nod. But let's try it this time around, even when members of the opposition wished they had voted for a female as a parliamentary candidate.
The third aspirant, Winfred Nate, who is a polling station chairman in the constituency, cast himself as a grassroots candidate, but given his low popularity compared to Joseph Obeng and Asotwe MA, who are all national figures within the NPP, some have said the race has become a 2-horse race between Joseph Obeng and Asotwe MA. The NPP is confident it will win Adentan because no MP wins twice, but it's obvious the quality and popularity of the candidate they elect will play a significant role towards this quest. It's a few days to the election, and the candidates are ramping up campaign with a number of social activities. So who wins? Time, as always, will tell.
Enrollment in Asotwe MA School in the Joseph municipality has dwindled over the period due to lack of educational materials, including classrooms and desks. This makes teaching and learning a daily struggle for the only school serving the Asotwe enclave. As an intervention, the former NPP Chairman of Peter McMahon has constructed a classroom block and an ultra-modern ICT lab for the Asotwe MA School to improve education in the area. Here's a report by Clinton Yabua.
Without essential classrooms, desks, and educational amenities, students and teachers lack a designated and a conducive space for focused learning and teaching. Pupils in Asotwe MA School are compelled to share limited spaces on packed school desks, affecting their learning experience. Former national chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Peter McMahon, has commissioned a KG classroom block, 100 dual desks, and an ultra-modern, fully furnished ICT laboratory for Asotwe MA Basic School. Head teacher of Asotwe MA Primary School, Alberta Simpson, showing appreciation for the gesture, described the critical condition pupils and teachers endured.
We are a cluster of schools, and it was our KG block that was not completed. So sometimes people didn't even want to bring their children to our school. So now that we have gotten a completed block, it's painted, the place it looks very nice. I'm sure it's going to increase enrollment. And you know we are in the computer age, and we also have computing as a subject. So it's necessary that we get computers so that the children, as they learn the theory, they can also practice it. And it will go a long way to help them in their learning.
Peter McMahon is certain that infrastructure will help pupils find alternative creative learning spaces and improve their digital skills.
The Metropolitan Chief Executive, he sought my assistance, and readily, with education under our able leadership, Nana Dodanko Akufo-Addo and Dr. Obeng, it's been our trump card. So readily I accepted that I'll provide the additional desk, dual desk, for the remaining students who didn't have. So we came here today to donate the desk, and in addition, inaugurate an ICT lab I also built for the community, that's the community. So the computer lab is going to assist them delve into various aspects of life. And in this digital age, which our own Dr. Baumia has pioneered so well, children should not be left out, so that they will become part of the digital community in Ghana and globally.
Reporting for Joy News, Clinton Yabo.
We can now go back to Parliament, where our correspondent Kwekwa Sante reports that the minority is accusing President Akufo-Addo of failing to sign into law an amendment to the Criminal Offences Act, which criminalizes accusation of witchcraft and practice of witch finders. Kwekwa Sante joins me with more. Kweku, who are the members of the minority who have been taking the president on for this inaction? Hello, Kwekwa Sante. Kwekwa Sante, can you hear me? Hello, Kwekwa Sante. Kwekwa Sante, if you can hear me, I'm asking you, how did this matter come up on the floor of Parliament, and who are the members making the accusations? All right, we may have to try and get Kwekwa Sante back on the line to tell us more about what's happening in Parliament. Kwekwa Sante, once more, if you can hear me, how did this matter come up in Parliament on the floor of the House? All right, so we may have to move on to the other story because Kwekwa Sante seems to be having connection problems. But when we get him, he'll be telling us more on this accusation that the president is deliberately not signing the bill that will criminalize witchcraft accusations. Kwekwa Asante, I hear he's joined us again. Kwekwa Asante, how did this matter come up on the floor of the House?
Aisha, so you will recall that in July of this year, Parliament passed an amendment to the Criminal and Other Offences Act, which criminalized the conduct of witch finders and the accusations of witchcraft, as we've seen so many times in the northern region, leading to the death of so many people unjustifiably. The bill sponsored by Francis Susu sought to criminalize this action on the part of some people. Parliament passed this and it went to the desk of the president. But since July, the president has either failed or refused to sign according to the minority, which they say is in flagrant breach of the Constitution, because the president gives the Constitution, I should say, gives the president within 7 and 14 days to actually look at the bill and either sign it into law or write back to Parliament detailing the specific issues he has with the bill and why he cannot sign it into law. They say the president has done none of this, and that is in contravention of the Constitution. The majority leader, Chairman Sabons, however, has been providing some answers. He says the presidency has made some challenges with the bill and had sought audience with President Akufo-Addo and with the Speaker of Parliament to try and thrash out these key issues that the presidency has seen with the bill. And that is why the president has tarried a bit slowly on signing this bill into law. But the minority will not budge. They say if the president has any issues, he must note it down formally and write to the Speaker of Parliament as the Constitution dictates. The president cannot meet the Speaker of Parliament at a funeral, for instance, and tell him that he has issues with a bill properly passed by Parliament. And that is why they think that the president is in breach of the Constitution. The Speaker of Parliament has consequently directed that the Criminal and Other Offences Amendment Bill, which has still been listed on the other list, be taken off because that is an anomaly, and that he expects that the president will write to Parliament detailing why he cannot sign the bill that was passed into law. MPs are concerned that since this bill was actually passed by the House, there have been a number of killings related to witchcraft accusations in the northern part of the country. And if the president had signed this bill into law, it would have served as a deterrent because of the punishment regime. And the president's failure or refusal to sign this into law is simply unacceptable.
President has a number of days that he has to notify Parliament if he has issues with a bill. I mean, if you look at the time that this bill was passed and up until now, hasn't that time passed? I mean, as stipulated in the Constitution, hasn't that time passed for the president to be able to write to Parliament?
Well, I said that time has long passed. Like I said earlier on, this bill was passed in July of this year. It's 4 months now since the bill was passed and was sent to the desk of the president. He has not signed it into law. He has also not written to Parliament officially. The Speaker of Parliament has said on the floor that he has not heard officially in writing, as the Constitution demands, from the president on this bill. And so that is why the minority, in fact, copiously from lawyers on the minority side, Mahama Yarga, Haruna Idrisu, and the ranking member on the Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, Bernard Ahiafo, who have all spoken that the president has breached the Constitution because the specific timeline, like you referenced, stated and provided for by the Constitution, which is 14 days ceiling maximum, has long passed. Because if you do 14 days, that would be the second week of August. August has come to pass, September has come to pass, October also, and November, today is 27th of November. 14 days has long passed, and the president, if he had any issues with the bill, as he has communicated through the majority leader and also meeting the president at the speaker at the party and telling him, he should have noted this down in a letter officially, send this to Parliament so that Parliament can reconsider or take a decision on that. He has not done that, and that is why they believe the president has breached the law. Of course, if the president breached the Constitution, one of the consequences is impeachment. And that is why the minority are taking this seriously. And coming in the coming days, it will not surprise me and many watchers if people start to go to the Supreme Court, for instance, to demand an enforcement of the Constitution, to also demand a declaration that the president has breached the Constitution, which could pave way for the impeachment proceedings to be opened against the president.
Kweku Asante, what else should we expect from Parliament today?
Aisha, you know about this big fight about Katie Hammond's airline, which is seeking to restrict the importation of between 22 and 23 items into the country: rice, sugar, margarine, motor cars, and a host of other products, which the minority said they are opposed to because it gives the president so much, it gives the minister for trade so much powers, which could lead to unbridled corruption and rent seeking. It is still listed on the other paper. Katie Hammond has not come to Parliament today, but our understanding is that there is certain conversation ongoing to impress upon Katie Hammond not to lay this because of the potential of conflict coming up on the floor if he's to push this through. And so time will tell in the coming hours if Katie Hammond will see to lay this restriction bill. Today we've heard from Guta and 5 other groups who petitioned Parliament asking them not to approve of this airline. And so we would see in the coming hours if Katie Hammond will back to this pressure coming from within and outside Parliament to pull the brakes on this airline, or will seek to go ahead to lay it, with the minority have clearly stated they will not allow to be laid.
Kweku Asante is our correspondent in Parliament. Definitely there is more we'll be bringing your way in our subsequent bulletins from Parliament. In other stories, leadership of the national private schools are calling on government to extend assistance to private schools as it's being done to public schools affected with the Oppong and Kojo water spillage. Their request follows efforts on the part of government to ameliorate the suffering of schools in affected areas. There's more in this report.
The Greater Accra chairperson for the Ghana Association of Private Schools, Aisha Esi Akrofi, says both private and public school students in areas affected by the spillage need equal assistance. In her opinion, the government is paying more attention to students in public schools and neglecting their private counterparts. She said this when regional executives and the standing committee of the association presented items and cash to some affected private schools in Ada.
We've heard of the plight of our member schools, Asidahi and Merit Community Schools, that they were affected by the Akosombo Dam spillage. So as members of the association, we put together our widows' minds and we are here to give them some cash donation, some relief items, and it includes some clothes, writing materials, toiletries, etc., etc. So we are here to commiserate with them and donate to them as well. That as they plan and prepare to assist the public school children, they do the same to private school children. They are all Ghanaian children. They've all been affected. Our people in the Ada East District of the Greater Accra region have been affected. We appeal that they do the same to our member schools as well.
The proprietor of Dahe International School at Ada, Richard Akpanglo Nate, appreciated the gesture on behalf of other affected private schools.
I am so grateful to NAB's Greater Accra region for the donation that they have given to the school. The floods that is spillage of the Akosombo Dam devastated the school compound, and then the class 1 classroom, class 2 classrooms were also affected. And for about 10 days, school had to close because the people had a problem in the classrooms. But by grace, NAF's Greater Accra region thought about us and then put a few things together to assist us. And I know this will go a long way to help the school recover after the devastation of the flood.
According to NADMO, floods caused by the spillage of the Akosombo and Oppong dams displaced over 31,000 people in parts of the Volta, Eastern and Greater Accra regions.
The 2022 Kumasi Road Safety Report has identified tricycle and motorcycle activities as major contributors to road traffic crashes in the metropolis. Public Relations Officer of the Pragia Okada Union of Ghana, Al-Hassan Sidi, acknowledges the activities are infiltrated with unskilled and unqualified riders who are not under the direction of the union. To instill professionalism, the union says it will henceforth issue special identity cards to members who have undergone training with the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority.
The number of reported road traffic crashes in Kumasi rose from 1,255 to 1,550 from 2021 to 2022, representing a 24% increment. Studies of road injury risk factors on selected corridors found that 30% of drivers in Kumasi, including Praja and Okada riders, were observed speeding. Tricycle riders were recently restricted from plying the Kumasi Central Business District to ease congestion and reckless driving. The Praja Okada Union is ready to enforce mandatory identification tags for members to curtail the rampant road infractions. According to the Public Relations Officer Al-Asbat Al-Hassan Sidi, 65% of tricycle riders in Kumasi are without identity, hence their activities cannot be accounted for.
In Kumasi, Greater Kumasi, we are 11,600 and something. It's more than 65% are not part of the union. So when you go to the authority and complain it to them, they will tell you it's normal because even the constitution has given them that authority. But any member that is part of us, the moment you see the person, you can show or you can equally see, oh, this person at least he is fully oriented and he has gone through training for him to be able to drive a tricycle. Even our identity card that we did for our members does it. So now any person who belongs to our association is having this card as an identity.
City is appealing to authorities to make orientation and driver-centered education programs available to equip tricycle riders.
The way forward is our people need a lot of orientations and training. You see, more often some of them will go to the DVLA for their licensing without any proper orientation and training, and they will just issue the card to them. So these are all part of the situation that we are facing. We are still pleading with the authority of the Metropolitan Assembly to give us some chance. We are still negotiating with them, but we are still pleading with them to just give us a chance and see, they will see a new Praga drivers, not the ones they know earlier. Yeah, for now, at least we have arranged ourselves, our data is ready.
Reporting for Joy News, Clinton.
For North residents have intensified their appeal to get bad roads fixed. The residents in the Ashanti region say they have appealed to get their poor roads fixed, and that has yielded no results. The roads have become unmatchable, affecting movement of foodstuff from the district, which is mainly the food basket. Nanaya Ojima visited the area and has filed this report.
According to the 2010 Population and Housing Census, only 35 kilometers of the 520-kilometer road is tarred. Not much has been done since the time of the study. The roads here are dusty and rough for commuters. In rainy season, commercial drivers dread the area due to muddy nature of the roads.
When it rains, the road gets blocked. Vehicles are unable to move out or come into the community. Produce of farmers are stuck on their farms. Nothing moves here in the raining season. Sick people get stuck in their homes. We are unable to get them to the hospital.
According to the census, nearly 70% of the population are engaged directly or indirectly in agriculture. The farmers are faced with post-harvest losses due to the poor roads. Here are some affected persons.
We take loans for our farms, but due to the poor roads, our produce rot away on the farms. Tomatoes are always rotting away.
After years of complaints and appeals, an indigent of the area, Fosu Frimpong, is facilitating the reshaping of some roads. He called for government support to help fix the bad roads in the area.
I personally have been to more than 47 communities, but as as a philanthropist and a businessman, you know that it is difficult. You cannot do everything. That is why we've selected 47 communities whose roads are very, very, very bad. And so for now, that is where we are starting from. I have been to every community in this municipality, and therefore I can testify to the bad nature of the roads in these communities. And that is why we have taken it upon ourselves to help alleviate the sufferings of our people.
Already, the philanthropist has lobbied for a telecom mast through GIFEC to improve network connectivity. Though many are excited about the reshaping of the road, they are expectant of government's intervention for tarring of the road.
We're still live on Joy News today. We're coming to you live from our studios in Kokomlemle. We're on DTT because we're free to air. Let's take a break. When we return, we'll bring you the very latest coming from the world of business.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the business segment on Joy News today with me, Pius Kojo Baka. The Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of Ghana has kept the policy rate at 30%. The central bank maintained the rate at which it lends to commercial banks due to concerns about inflation rate outlook. Addressing the media, Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, noted that the committee is also worried about some global developments impacting negatively on the economy. We shall be bringing you more on the marketplace with Darryl Kwao. The president of the Internet Society of Ghana, Francis Akwa Amining, is calling on the government and the private sector to invest into digital inclusion in Ghana to accelerate growth in all aspects of the country. According to him, more work needs to be done to bridge the digital divide in the country. He was speaking at the Ghana Digital and Financial Inclusion Roundtable.
The Ghana Digital and Financial Inclusion Roundtable focused on the need to improve digital inclusion in Ghana. It was also themed Advanced Digital Inclusion and Financial Access for All. In an interview, President of the Internet Society Ghana, Francis Akwa Amining, said government and the private sector must invest into digital inclusion, both the vulnerable and rural community.
Digital inclusion is a very important topic which we have to look at it critically, because if you are looking at a country, last 2 years, our Vice President declared a year of digitalization. So does it mean those who cannot see or cannot hear very well are left behind, or those who cannot even afford digital device cannot benefit from this? Now we have e-government, which were our passport services. A lot of e-government services are online. Does it mean they can't enjoy from all these e-services? These are conversations which we have to take very keen interest in. So we should look at a country now which flag bearers should be promising us investment in technology, but then extending internet connectivity across the country. Because if you look at the Ghana Statistical Service reports, still over 42% of Ghanaians are still offline, which is very threatening, because does it mean they are not part of Ghana? No. So these are some of the issues that makes it very threatening that we, all of us, to come together, being it government, being it private sector, being it business issue. As part of our commitment, let's try to invest into technology and also go to those who are in it, because if you visit the villages, people even don't have even ICT equipment like a computer, laptop to learn.
Regional Executive Director for West Africa ICT Action Network, Peter Kinkwe, added that improving digital inclusion could contribute to the growth of the financial sector.
It's very important that you realize that it's an inclusive environment. So if we are having almost about 4 million Ghanaians who are not connected or excluded, it has a lot of issues that, despite the gains made in the area of financial, mobility, financial inclusion with respect to mobile money and then financial, platforms that are increasing, making more people get access to financial services. We're looking at digital inclusion. That is very, very important. People with disabilities and people who are like children, this need to be looked at. There are a lot of policies on child online protection, which Ghana is championing. So we think there's a need for more expansion to cater to those particular target people as well.
The Ghana Digital and Financial Inclusion Roundtable brought together technological experts and some students.
And that's it for business. I am Pius Kojo Baka. Coming up in sports, Mohamed Kudus redeemed his image after giving away a penalty by contributing to 2 goals. We've got more for you on the sports segment with Haruna Mubarak after this break.
Well, it's time for us to get into what is happening in the world of showbiz. The name is Ibrahim Ben Bako, and songstress Frida Rhymes has revealed that there have been times that she's thought about quitting music due to the challenges that she has been facing in her career. But according to her, the challenges rather made her strong, and she made a choice to continue pursuing music. Well, Echo Nicholas Diamwa has more in this report for you.
I'm not gonna lie, I've had challenges and all that with my career and all that, so definitely there's been times that I've thought of quitting and all that, but my soul just wouldn't let me. My homeboy Top Dog would tell you there were times that I told him that this thing is too difficult for me, and things don't seem to go the way I wanted to, so I think I'm tired and I want to quit. But he was like, nah, I can't quit, so. Yeah, I've thought about that a couple of times, but I'm still here. I'm here today, so it means that's not possible. Regardless of the challenges and all that, I've learned that in life, whatever you do, you have challenges, but you need to keep on, moving, because the challenges and the things that I've experienced with my career has, shaped me into the woman that I am today. So no.
You never got pregnant?
No.
I never had a baby.
People weren't hearing from me for a long time. They didn't know what was happening. So they just made up stuff. But it was nothing like that. There was
no marriage, no pregnancy, no baby.
Not at all. I was just on my grind though. No.
And there you have it with the report from Nicholas Echo Yamwa. And that will wrap it up on the world of showbiz here on Joy News Today. Aisha?
Hi, Daddy. How are you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Right, I'm doing great. That's how we wrap up the bulletin this afternoon. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Log on to myjournalline.com. There's more of the news and updates of all the developing stories.
And that is what Aisha.
Enjoy the rest of our programs. Bye. Hi, Daddy.
Come on, man.